I think the arts have a huge impact on our economy. Not only does it impact the quality of life for so many of us, but I also think it enriches our experience. We're looking for expression through art, not judging is this art or is it not, but how will, especially with the inspiration level grants, we're looking to, will this help this project actually come to fruition? And will this take the artist to the next level? Will this really evolve them as an artist in their craft and in their profession?
Yeah, the project was called the Picnic Project, and it was essentially, what I wanted to do was kind of create a citywide picnic event. I was really interested in the idea of meals and people sharing meals together, and wanting to create a space where that can happen. And so with the Picnic Project, what I wanted to literally do is create a gigantic picnic blanket that could accommodate the entire city if need be. When I started thinking about, okay, well, how could I go about creating this blanket, it really became about looking at the gingham pattern, which is that red and white checkered pattern that we associate with picnic blankets, and thinking of all of those different squares as things that could come together. I basically held a series of workshops throughout Kansas City over the course of really the month of June being the large part of when the workshops were happening. When you look at pictures from the event, there's the solid red squares, but the white squares in between were squares that I created with the community at all of these workshop events that we had. For me, the big goal about the project and the big goal for a lot of this kind of work that I like to create is bringing people together to create something that's bigger than what any of us can create on our own.
Allison's project to me was very powerful and still is. I liked the convening, the communing aspect of it, and encouraging anyone and everyone to express through art. Allison's blanket was already scheduled at the Nelson by the time we were able to give a little bit of money, but that got the final contributors on board, which I think was so important to see that come to life. It's kind of the ripple effect or the mustard seed effect. It grows because so many other folks come on board. In the case of the inspiration grants, it's other funders in the community or foundations that may contribute to an artist. But I think our grant lent the legitimacy of being reviewed by the Arts Council.
I feel like the city is so much more vibrant than maybe it was 10 or 15 years ago. I think so much of that is because of artists coming and staying in Kansas City.
Because of the liveliness of the art scene in Kansas City, the Coterie has been able to really grow from being what was a children's theater in 1990 to now a theater that programs for all ages. It's a multi-generational theater. We have a Coterie at Night series, we have a family series, we have a teen series. All of that is because the Kansas City art scene allows for growth. We are able to develop talent, and oftentimes the talent here, after they work on a show and it's very successful, they'll go away, they might try New York for a while. Some of them really hit it in New York. We try to keep track of those people because they become favorites of ours, and we bring them back. Loretta Pope comes to mind.
I love working with Jeff Church because he has a real eye for directing actors in a way that makes sense in his space. I mean, he knows the Coterie inside and out. He knows knows what it takes to give your best performance for those kids. It's a very unique space in that the children are right there on the floor next to you, and then the adults sort of sit up in a tiered seating above that. So they can watch both the kids and watch you. So it's like a dual performance that you're constantly working for, but ultimately you want to connect with a real sense of urgency and joy and playfulness with those kids that are right there next to you.
It would not work to just rely on income from ticket sales. We all know that doesn't fulfill the equation that's needed. The idea of the ArtsKC fund, that there's sort of one fund that can really help and fairly distribute money and make a real impact on a local organization to do its mission better, deeper, farther, greater. That's what that money does for us.
When you start asking the purpose of an art program in a corporation, you're really getting into the nature of people. It's just a one-on-one relationship with folks that you know, and you encourage them to express themselves. You ask them a few questions, you find out quickly what they love to do. And then you say, well, we're going to have this juried event, put something in the show.
Bravo!
Graham was a surprise to me. There's nothing like seeing him perform. I mean, he is just a ball of energy all over the place, the whole time making music. I was very much moved by his presentation.
At work, we don't really get a chance to talk about it too much. I think especially being in aviation, things are very strict by necessity because you're dealing with government regulations and stuff. And so we don't get the chance to communicate a lot about our outside interests in that. And since the competition, I've learned of a number of people who are musicians and do different things outside of work and whatever. I also got quite a good reaction from people who aren't musicians, just coworkers that came up to me and said, wow, you really rock that keyboard. I didn't know you could do that. And so, just that little bit of recognition for something other than, achievements in the workplace is pretty neat. I think it's fantastic that Garmin takes an interest in its employees to do things like that.
I think it's going to be one of those things that help the corporations connect with the community.
Welcome to 18th and Vine. We certainly hope.
And I think that's what we're looking for in a great city is you have corporations that are a huge presence when it comes to employment and adding to that the fiscal environment, but really become a healthy part of the life of Kansas City. I think it's still kind of new to the company, but I'm confident they'll feel the effect of it and they'll see the goodness. And I think in time it just becomes a part of who we are.